4, 3, 2. Hey, my name is Christiano 𝘀𝗂𝗯𝗀𝗏, and today I have a special guest, Marsha Talley, and we're going to talk about who knows what, because this is our first candid conversation. So, to start, I want to share something that you shared in consideration of this conversation. So, something recent.
Well, hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marsha Talley, and I'm here to tell you it's okay to be different, and it's also okay to find your tribe of people. And by your tribe, that does not mean you're finding people who are exactly like you. You just need to find people who complement you, and you complement them. So you don't exactly want to be a duplicate of anyone else, a carbon copy of anyone else, but there is someone somewhere that will understand you and you will understand them. Find that tribe. Talk to you soon.
Love it. Love it. So if you were to expound on that, what would you add to that? Because how I relate to that is there was this musician that came through town. This, not even just a musician, he was a magic man. He was really good with his hands, and he had this song that he sang, but everyone in town knows it based on how spiritual the area is. It was Not My Vibe, Not My Tribe. And it was just that simple. That's the name of the song. So when you said that and how you explained it, it was reminiscent of that. So if you were to expound on that revelation for you, when did it come, or what compelled you to say that? I think it was like yesterday or the day before. What was it?
Yeah. Do you know, Christian, like, honestly, I think that song sums it up for me. It's not your vibe, not your tribe. Like, you know those types of people. You know people who you're around that when you leave their presence, you either feel drained or you feel refreshed and revived, and you feel excited or motivated to go and create new things and do new things. Mm-hmm. That's your tribe. And, you know, your tribe don't have to look like you. They don't have to be in the same region as you. They may not even speak the same language as you. It's funny because on my page, I have some people who are from Mexico. When I went to Mexico City, they just followed and they stayed following. And I just believe that it's about that vibe. It's about that energy. It's about, in your human experience, are you meeting people that uplift you and you are uplifting them? And it doesn't mean that every day in the walk of your tribehood is perfect and it's all kumbaya, because life isn't perfect. Life imperfections is life. That it's life. But it's about you being able to complement each other, even in the hot mess, even in the havoc, and keep growing and learning and changing with them.
This is interesting because I have gone through your site, listened to your dialogues and shares. We tag each other back and forth on various conversations online. And so one of the things that you talk about are traumas, and overcoming your traumas as a teacher, educator, and many things that you are, author. Traumas, it seems to be something that you really went into. So when you talk about Not My Vibe, Not My Tribe and traumas, that's something that I engage in often in these conversations with people, because there's a great value in seeking your traumas. In the recent past, there was this download that stated, your traumas are like these private note cards that you tucked away. And as you progress, if you can go back and look at where you put this private card, you can see how it affected so many things, but you can also see the value from why you did that. And so it's so beneficial to like seek your traumas. Now, looking at relationships, I really want to see what you feel on this. All right, so there's so many times that we try to oversimplify things to say it's either this or that. However, when you master something, someone that masters something can take something and make it simple. It isn't complex to explain. It may be complex to comprehend, but not to explain. And so I think that the majority of relationships come down to a variation of two major nodes. One is traumatic coupling, and the other is bonding. And so often people get caught up in traumatic coupling where they're triggered, whether good or bad. They're triggered by something familiar from a trauma that they've yet to face. And they feel that it's attractive because you do want to face your traumas. And this is a new package connected to a previous experience, which you think you can overcome and face. And so this traumatic coupling creates this relationship. And so if and when you aren't over that, this is just a moment waiting to crumble because it's not based on anything rooted truly individual. It's based on traumatic triggers and coupling that is so familiar. You can get caught up in things you love about your mother or love about your father, and it's like that's still like not beneficial to your partner in that moment. Now, on the other side, there's the bonding relationship. And this is above and beyond because nothing stops this. This is like a growth that is long term. This is that relationship that no matter what, there's an upward spiral. No matter what, the individuals stay themselves because that is what the bond is based on. And so these are those lifetime relationships that, indifferent to how often you speak, what happens, it's just like that's still a bond. It may be gaps in what we consider communication, but the bond existed before and after that. So I think a lot of relationships, there's a confusion in bonding and these traumatic couplings that can last weeks, years. It's very interesting. So what's your take on that?
That is powerful because I love the terminology between the traumatic coupling and the bonding, because it actually creates this visualization for me that is very helpful to define the difference between the two. Definitely many of us get into situations because of trauma. We are attracted to trauma, and when we get into situations, our unhealed, our own unattended trauma finds a way to sabotage us. So we create additional trauma. Trauma. You know, that's kind of our thing to do. So recently, when you talk about triggers, because I'm single, and so I have been, and I'm loving being single. But there's just one part of being single I'm not a fan of, and that's not having in-house phallus. Okay, different conversation. We'll talk about that later.
No, we can talk about that too.
We're not ready to talk about that yet. We'll wait.
Okay, go for it.
But no, seriously. So I had this conversation with a gentleman. He is 45 years old. And so in his mind, he is pursuing me because after 2 days of talking on social media and talking on the phone, he believes that's the equivalent of him pursuing me. That's a pursuit for him. That's him being. And it's very interesting because I come with the mindset, no, sir, no, that's a no. We have to meet offline because I'm not going to fall in love with the internet, fall in love with the phone. Anyway, in our conversation, I know one of the things he reiterates is that I'm looking for a woman that is feminine and can be there for me and, all those things. And I guess I have heard this before because a lot of men seem to come to me and they're either intimidated by me some type of way. Don't ask me. I don't even know. What is it?
They're intimidated by you.
Or they come to me comparing themselves to me, or just want to challenge me. They want to see if they can humble me. So I get those types of guys in my space. And so I have heard guys say this before. I've heard them say, one guy said, I want a woman that needs me and you don't need me. So in my world, because I am self-sufficient and it's not out of pride and it's not out of anything arrogant, I came I was born in Jamaica, I was born in the ghetto, and I keep trying to explain the difference between the ghettos of Jamaica and the same. Because we have Section 8 here, we don't in Jamaica.
Come back again, the difference between the ghettos of Jamaica and what?
The hood in America.
I know the difference. I was in Kingston 13. And when I try and tell people about, like, you have to take an illegal taxi because the legal taxis stop. And they're like, we're not going past this part. And so you got to jump in the next dude's car with like 4 other people to get to Kingston 13. And like, we're talking barefoot. We walked for water because we couldn't get clean water in the fucking city, in Kingston. Like, yeah, and I've been in the slums of Rio de Janeiro. I've been to the favelas. I've been in the biggest slum in Nairobi, one of the largest in the world. Like, when people say I'm in the hood in the United States and they got a cell phone and rocking some Jordans, it's just like, please stop.
Stop it. And what you're describing, I'm so happy that, because I'm from Kingston 13.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Ooh, baby.
Yes.
Ooh, baby.
So when people, I'm like, I just smile at certain things, because when men come into my life at this point and they want me to be someone else, first of all, I'm not going to spend my human experience to satisfy your current need. And you are not understanding why I am who I am today. And that's what I explain to people. My traumas has created who I am, a product of those experiences. So yes, I made certain decisions to become a certain person, but those traumas, I'm not exempt from those traumas affecting me. They influenced me.
True.
They are a part of who I am. So just because someone shows up in my space today and they want what they want, and they want it now, because dudes show up and they're like, crown me, I'm here, don't you see me? And I'm like, okay. And apparently my attitude of, okay, is masculine. Who knew? I didn't even know. So it's growing up from then and knowing how to survive from that. One of the reasons education is a big part of my life is because education was for me then. School was my saving grace then. Being able to get out of certain situations was because I got a scholarship to high school. I call it a scholarship. When I passed the common entrance in Jamaica, and you were able to get to high school, because you know, high school in Jamaica, you pay for it. Yeah. It's not like here.
No, it's so different.
It's just here. It's not the same. So when someone comes to me and not understanding, and I don't expect them to have a biography of who I am, because I don't have that of them. But what I don't do is ask someone else to change when I meet them. I accept them as they are, and then we push through. Either you fit me or you don't. And I'm not going to try and make you fit me, so don't try and make me fit you. Because right now in the moment, I could just be for the moment and you are just for the moment. But you may not be a part of my bonding. But what you might be, coupling, which I don't want anymore, because I've had enough of those. I've had plenty of those. But in that situation, the guy said, you're masculine. And I went, why? Why do you say that? And he said, you know, when you are telling me that you want to see me, you're like, you know, I'd see you or not. It's not a big deal, no biggie. If you want to. And me saying no biggie was masculine to him, because apparently, you know, men reserve the right to say, no biggie, I'll come if I want to. But if I say that, apparently my traits, it's great for a man, but not okay for a woman. Okay, sir. But him saying that, I realized, was a trigger. The difference is now than it was then. This time, even though it triggered me, because I am healed from certain traumatic events, it didn't bother me in the same way. All I saw was, you're not a fit for me. I understand that. It wasn't, we're not beefing, there's no issues. you're not a fit for me. And that's okay. So, those traumas teach you some things, and it taught me some things, but I'm not trying to repeat them. That's all.
I dig it. Yeah, I have a song where the opening lyric is, I love you because you took me as I am. From the seas to the mountains, I'll shout it out the best I can. That is the ideal bonding beginning that you want with anyone or anything. That is the most beautiful thing about children, whether spoken or not, is that they don't judge you. They see you as you are. And that's why some of the things they say is so like prolific, because what they're saying is just, it has no judgment. It's, and you're just like, what made you say that? Why did you say that? Where did that come from? And then everything else they say after that is gibberish. But in that moment,
that one thing.
That one thing was brilliance and so poignant. So yeah, I love you because you took me as I am. So yeah, that is, when you see that, it's just not my vibe, not my tribe, because when it is your vibe, that same statement or disposition would just vibrate differently from your tribe. When it's not your tribe, it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Absolutely. When you said earlier about the bonding, it remains whole, but when it comes together, and I visualize potty, they have the different clays, the different colors to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you wrap them together, like, you really can do all of this with them, but you can see the colors, you can see them. And then it depends on how well you bond them or merge them or mesh them, how that color infuses together. But that's what I was visualizing when you were saying that, because you have to have a level of wholeness to be able to bond with anyone else.
Anything
else. You just have to. And too many of us, I think we are parts of ourselves. And then we bond with people who are parts of themselves. And we think that's supposed to make the whole. That's, in my opinion, that traumatic coupling. And it's not to say this wholeness is about perfection. Now, I am not about perfection, because I think, what is perfection? I think perfection in itself is flawed. I don't know if there's such a thing as perfection, but it's about that progress with someone else and just having the ability to grow with someone. But I'm not saying anyone that I meet as far as a romantic or platonic relationship, because there are people. And when we talk about relationships, we're not just talking about intimacy, someone you're going to sleep with. We're talking about people who can be there for you when shit hits the fan, and you can be there for them. So in those platonic relationships too, you have to assess, who are these people? And it's not to say things won't get awry and things won't go wrong, but it's how you deal with all of that. No one's perfect. No situation's perfect, but it is that vibe. And you know the difference. Some things I think we want to explain. We feel like we have to be able to write it, put it in words. And like you said, when you get it, when you understand it, it's simple to explain. However, I do think there's some things that are just intrinsic, and you feel it. You just feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Truth. So that statement about what is perfect, and back to a song lyric. So I have this song called Perfectly Me, and the opening lyric is, and the chorus is, I'm not perfect, but I am free. Wait, I am perfect, perfectly me. And so it's just that simple. What am I perfect at doing? Me. Perfection. and so,
but go ahead.
And so something else that you referenced a few times that is in my vocabulary, but is not in my daily consideration and vernacular, are looking at relationships as plutonic or non-plutonic, sexual, because that isn't in consideration in my world and in my state of interacting with anyone. That is never even considered when I open my world of consideration to someone. There's so many things that are possible, but that's far from a note of consideration when I engage. So when you use those as, I was just like, wow, I've never considered a relationship with, in any capacity, with that in mind. So yeah, I just giving consideration of just the differences on how I perceive that. It was just like, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. So you have to consider, so when you talk about the men that you're meeting and then the term, I'm just like, wow, this is intriguing to me. Intriguing.
That's intriguing to me. That's so you approach all relationship or all, when you meet people, it's about who are you? Just, it's not about this or that. It's just,
there is no nothing. It's just, what is this vibration right now? Because it's a moment. That's all we have is a moment. And love is fleeting. That's what people chase, is that fleeting lightning strike of the passion of love. The vibration of love never stops. But that lightning strike of that passionate love is that taste but when you can't let go of that moment, you don't get to savor the taste as much as you could. Just enjoy the moment with people. Let that expectation go, because you meet people in a flash. And so that transition may need to take place just as fast. So it's just, I meet people in moments, and it's just, there is no consideration of none of that. And so look, truth be told, I've been called a numbskull by a lot of my male counterparts, because they'll be telling me, they're like, hey, Christiana, you realize she's like all into you, man. Look at the way she's looking at you and she talks to you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, because I'm on another vibration. It's just different. It's different. So yeah.
That is intriguing, to be honest. And I think it's about several things. I think it might be about region. I think it might be about choice. Obviously, you've chosen this, but I'd like to know how you got to that journey, like how you got here. Was it always like this? Were you always, and then it might be about gender too. I don't know. But you were just mentioning your male friends, so maybe not. Because with us women, we're kind of conditioned to, whenever we food, is he my husband? And literally, even as rated as I think I am, I have ways to go. But even with me, if a dude comes up, I'm like, I practice his last name. So does his last name fit with my name? No, I don't like it. Okay, maybe not. But things like that, we are conditioned to kind of look at guys and go, is this dude, is he the one? Is he my forever? Will he be my husband? There is very little room for, I'm just gonna go with this vibe. And I'm just gonna ride that wave and see what happens. And if that is my forever, we'll see. If not, we'll see. Apparently now that I've achieved this level of we'll see, that's masculine. So that's what I mean. It's like in our current conditioning, women are not really expected to have that trait. We're supposed to look at you guys as, is this dick gonna be forever, or is he just, that's how we're supposed to look at you. Wait, is this a children-friendly show? Because I do cuss.
This is just a candid conversation. Candid is, let's go for it. It's just the moment. And that is what, if I look at any relationship with anything that is in my realm, it's nothing but us. There is nothing, no plant, no meal, no song, no individual that can't say that I'm fully engaged, or we are fully engaged when we're in a relationship, because that's just it. So again, there's possibilities are limitless. So these little nodes just don't come up. And that's why if sex is a part of it, this is some of the most memorable moments, because I'm as fully engaged in that moment. Like, this could be our first and last every single time. So it's no expectations, there's no formula. It's just, it just is every single time.
So tell me, how did you arrive at that state? Like, how did this happen? How long have you lived in? Tell me a little bit about where you live as well, and how long you've lived there.
Well, I've been traveling the world for quite some time. I've been on every continent outside of Antarctica. I've been in Costa Rica off and on for about 10 years. And energetically, this is where my molecules thrive based on the electromagnetic energy and where we sit in relation to the ionosphere's interaction with space. There is magic that happens here with another realm of possibilities. And this would take us into, if you believe in dimensions and have experienced them. If someone says no, then I would say, so have you ever dreamed? That is a dimension, because when you're there, it is as real as anything else. And when you come out of it, you're transitioning from one dimension to another. So at bare minimum, you have already experienced 2 dimensions in your life. People that take what are considered either hallucinogens and or like plant medicine have gone into other dimensions. And these are all, when people take them, like if you take mushrooms, people all over the world for hundreds and hundreds of years all have a similar experience on mushrooms. Whether good or bad, there's a similar relationship based on this frequency. So it's a key to another dimension. So that's a whole nother thing, the frequencies. And so if you can meditate and go into yourself, that's a whole nother dimension. And so how did I get here? I've been traveling through dimensions for so long that now that I choose to interact in this 3rd dimensional by choice, I'm in full control of me and all that is. And I just know it all starts with me, and let it be.
Oh, it's powerful. Actually, I feel that. One of the challenges for me is I don't feel like I'm in my right environment. So consider like a plant, right? I feel like I'm a plant in the wrong soil.
Hey, and that's so important. That's a great analysis.
And I know that, I feel it. I feel it more than anything. I feel it. And that's one of the struggles more than anything, why I keep, because I'm in the wrong environment. But I do what I can, because that's the nature of living things. They do adapt or die. They adapt or die. And I am about, I'm going to survive. However, I'm still ready. I'm ready to find where I should be in my soil. I'm ready to find my soil, which it goes back to finding your tribe. I'm ready to find that. And I do think it makes a difference. A lot of things that you're talking about, it scares people, because when you talk about the key to unlock, people really they're scared of themselves. We're so scared of so many things. We're so fearful of so many things. That's a box they don't want to step out of. Like you are asking now I'm not in a box. I don't know what to do. And they don't want to. It's hard. It's difficult for people to step out of what is familiar. Well, and even though they have had a taste of it, like our dreams, if they really think about it, or deja vu, if they really think about it, you're like, seriously, you know there's more to this, right? There has to be, because you're experiencing it. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to develop on that experience. You don't want to build on that experience. That's okay. Most of us don't want to step out of the box. We don't want the key.
Do you want to?
And it's scary. Go ahead.
Do you want to step out of the box?
I absolutely do. And it's still scary for me. I am a risk taker, because here's the thing, as much as like I will keep saying I am free and liberated and all of those, that is, there's still elements to that. There are layers to that, because there's still, it's like taking off all the conditioning, all the things that you've been programmed to believe. And there are fear within me, even though I know there's more, like I feel it. I know there is. There is still a part of me that's like, oh my God, that's kind of risky. Because you've also grown to believe that you should live within a certain perimeters, that you maybe this is how life should be. Yes, but to answer your question, yes, I am ready to do something different, to be honest, to do something different, because this is not necessarily this. It's cute and everything, it's cute. But it's not me. It doesn't feel me. It feels very foreign. It's very foreign.
What what inspires you?
The earth, nature. That inspires me.
And
If I need to heal, I'm going to find a park somewhere. I'm going to cry out there. I'm going to talk to some trees. Okay, that might not be weird to you. Because that's if I say that to some people, it's strange to them, which is really bizarre. It's like, how is that strange? And I think it's combating living here in this region, because you have to remember, the people here use lab-made medicine as medicine. And when I first came here and I was talking about trees and herbs and essential oils, a lot of people, it was very strange to them. And it was strange to me that it was strange to them.
mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in Jamaica, where we had a bush for everything. There's a bush somewhere for everything. Then I came here and people didn't even drink tea. Their tea was cold. What? How you tea? That's not tea, man. That's not tea. So with that, I had to realize that the cultural difference, that alone changes the conversation. So all of a sudden, I kind of minimize my beliefs in myself and which is a problem for me. It's not a problem for them, but it is a problem for me, because I feel like huge energy in this box with a lid. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So yeah, for you, it might be, you understand, yeah, I go to the trees. I go take my shoes off and I have to be on the ground and in the dirt. And those things inspire me. I get a lot of what I'm talking about from being outside, from sunbathing, from running, from sitting, from just getting dirty. So, yeah.
It's more than understanding the tree aspect. It's the simplicity of hearing what you do to release. A question I often ask people is, what is your creative release? Because no matter what you go through in life, no matter the successes or failures, there still needs to be this creative release or exchange. And so what you told me was, this is where you go and release, whether it's release joy, love, curiosity. Nature inspires you to release. So I don't have to understand what you do or why you do it when I just let you be in your space. So knowing that, if I saw you running from the trees, I'm like, let it go. What's wrong with her? Hey, she's inspired.
Yeah. I mean, hugging people's trees, walking by.
Yeah. And I live in a space where I can see people hugging trees every day. Every day. Every day. So that's like, yeah, it's a bit different.
Yeah. That's the difference with everything. So would you come back to America and live here?
Uh, that would make no sense. When I was there, I went through all 50 states and didn't understand it because when I looked, it was like it's this one huge landmass that has two oceans, lakes, rivers, seas, mountains, valleys, peaks, snow, rivers, creeks, saltwater, freshwater, volcanoes. It has everything. And yet there are these imaginary sections that separate states, so people are kind of separated in addition to the games. Like, I understand to watch stuff, but to like not like someone because they have a different team, that was strange. But just traveling through, I realized that people have never been to the peaks of Denver to like ski, and yet the whole thing is, I want to go do it in Switzerland. It's like, but you haven't even gone like right across. So
Right.
it's so much division when people are going through the same stuff. That's why I look at, and I keep telling people, I'm watching this world shift from the perspective of the United States with so much humor and intrigue from a state of entertainment, because I have to tune in to the station to even know what's going on and give a damn. I don't live there. I'm not from there. I don't have anything planted there that didn't have the bridge of consideration to get out of there. So it's just kind of like, this is easy to see what it is. Uh, Enjoy it or get out of it, because it's a fishbowl of chaos. So yeah, just
Yeah, so I didn't expect to be here, but here we are. And I got married in London, and then he was in the military. We got stationed in South Texas. And then we got pregnant and moved to North Arlington, which I tell you, I probably should have moved out of this place within the last 10 years, a long time ago. I probably should have just left. But it was such a challenge to mesh with people. And I'm not talking about, if you saw the pictures and all of that, you would think I'm a socialite. I was always, I was among people, but I was not of the people. I was always alone. I always felt alone, no matter how big the crowd was. Like, this is bizarre. And I have friends, and I do use that loosely, but it's very different. I am still finding my tribe, put it that way. I'm still finding my tribe of people. I have good people around me, but I'm still finding my tribe. And I should have left here a while ago, because this, you said it right, a fishbowl of chaos. And the worst thing about this fishbowl, you can come in here thinking, oh, I'm strong enough to survive this fishbowl. And before you know it, you're becoming as toxic. And that's what I have noticed about me in the last year. And I kept telling myself, you're not American. Don't become American. And I'm talking about, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. I'm not, it's very different, man. But I feel myself acclimating to certain, because I'm here, it's the environment, and that you adapt or die, you start to adapt. And I'm trying to resist. So I know I should have left here a while ago, and I have just
What do you see? What do you see on the horizon? What are you sensing right now?
It's what I've sensed for a while, actually. So a couple of years ago, I sense currently that, for one, when I bought this house, one of the reasons I did was because I feel I need to start growing my own food and have a way to grow my own food and have a way to gather my own water. Because I, here their way of doing anything is to get guns. So I did get guns too, and get the bullets too. But I think this is gonna get a hot mess before it gets there. And I've felt this for a couple of years. I remember vividly having a dream about certain things happening, vividly. And it was then. And that's why one of the reasons when it comes to the men that I choose, some of these guys think they're a good fit. You don't know to build anything. You don't know how to grow anything. What the fuck am I going to do with you? Like, honestly, like what? So you think your dick is going to be just enough? And I'm like, no. Honestly, no. So I'm looking for someone that can understand what I'm feeling and seeing, and we can prepare for that. But to answer your question, I don't feel a good vibe about what's about to happen next.
Looking for someone like that is different from being open to allow it to happen. Looking for something will allow it to go right past you. But just being you and proceeding in with who you are, that's when that thing that we talked about earlier, that unforeseen bonding strike of passion just pops up next to you, and you're just like,
oh,
like what? Never.
Hello.
Yeah. So yeah, just keep doing you, keep building that foundation and platform, and it will just happen. Don't I hear this from, it's usually in the Western culture, how people go out, dress up in the hopes of like, yeah, I want to have fun with my girls and my guys, but I'm looking for someone. And I'm just like, that's why y'all don't see me out. Cause I don't want to walk in a place with all that intention. Like, that's why I think it's different whenever I'm with a woman, is because it just happened and it's just so different and it's so intense that usually the disappointment is like, whoa, what happened? And it's like, that's a moment. I had no expectations. You did. And so you expected it to be longer than it was. I had no idea when or what it was, but stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. So yeah.
Let me ask you this though. So although you are in the moment, which we should be, and we should love that experience of the now. Mm-hmm. That's where we should be. How do you, so you just explain you're just being. You're just being and letting that flow. Do you usually have several people flowing into your space at the same time? How does it typically work for you then? How does that?
The ability to be has no expectations or formula. It just is. It just is. It just is. And that is the beauty and the fear of the next moment. See, I realized that when I have dated women that understood the beauty that attracted us, it also became the most fearful thing, because they were like, I don't know what's going to happen next. And that is how we met. But now I don't want that to change, but. And they know I'm in the moment. And I never leave the moment with an individual. Their fears and second guessing may cause them to leave the moment with me because they're in the future, stuck in the past, trying to make connections that they don't have. But nah, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just here with you in the moment. I'm not thinking about 10 minutes from now, actually.
So you've successfully mastered being present.
Mastered it. Okay. It just is.
Have you successfully met someone else who's able to live in the moment with you?
Successfully met. I have moments with people, persons, and things that there are moments where this is it's evident and vivid. There's no one that can say they had a relationship with me that can't say it's intense. Because that's it. What else is life but relationship? So if you consciously allow something in, that's all the attention. It's one of the few relationships I have with anything. So it's like, zzz, you got it. It's a whole planet.
Do you think though your experiences traveling has allowed you to become who you are and the mindset that you have now?
Allowed it to be? No, I think everything that we do daily is a contribution to what is. And in traveling this planet, in this realm, I have seen and learned that there aren't that many differences. So just let things be and enjoy and digest and discern and just keep going. But the best thing that you can learn is yourself, because then everything else is just like icing on the cake. There's no good or bad. Like someone could walk up to me and smack me in my face 10 minutes after giving me a kiss, and I would just be like, okay. Because here's the thing. There's this thing called causality. There are a million trillion possibilities that could exist that led to that happening. And all I have control over is what I do next. So it's just kind of like, okay, and that's it. So
you're never disappointed or hurt by someone else's actions?
The individual you're talking to right now, nah. In fact, sometimes I used to try and contrive these thingies and they just didn't work, because I was like, I want to feel this thing, and it's just like, I'm not really upset. Like my brother told me, I had these experiences with people here before I left and started traveling with the music and the plays and the stories. And when I got back, some of the people that I had these experiences with were around me again. And he pulled me to the side and he says, Christiano, why do you let the same people that rip you to shreds behind your back, like around you all the time? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he explained to me and pointed out individuals that were around that say and do certain things around when I'm not around. And I was like, well, I guess I just have a short-term memory for those things, because I'm having a good time. I guess I love myself so much that I really don't give a shit. Like, I don't. It's not a lack of care. I'm just not attached to your disdain. So it's just like, and I can choose not to be.
But is that your personality though? Because that could be your person. Is that your personality?
Which is what?
Of, the I'm not attached to your disdain, almost like apathy. I don't really care. Is that your personality?
No, it's not a lack of care. It's the fact that I have no control over anything outside of myself. So I can't give attention to anything but that. All I can control is my reactions and actions. That's it. So I know that, and I'm at peace with all the stuff outside of that. It just is. No matter how you perceive it, it just is. I hear you. I feel you. I can sympathize. I can empathize. However, there's only so much after that. You can have all the expectations and hopes you want, but this is what I control.
I can dig it. I mean, I can dig it. I'm not at that level. I am currently at the level of deciding who I want to be in my company. And if I've seen certain traits from you, we may, like you, I may smile and laugh with you, but I'm definitely not going to elect to be in your company or elect. I may. It depends, because there are people I know who they are, and I still am around them because I know who they are. Yeah, so I guess that's quite similar, because I know. It's just like, you know what, I'm unbothered because what you do really don't affect me. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. It's like, I see you and I'm grateful that you showed me what you showed me. So I know who you are now and I know how to adjust if I have to with you.
You take them as they are. Like some
Yeah.
people, you know how you have that person next to you and someone to come in and it's two things they'll see. They'll see that individual and they'll be like, what do you like about this individual? And then they'll see how you two interact and they'll be like, all you do is argue. What do you guys like about each other? But what they don't see is what that means to you two and how you like they don't see all that other stuff. So everything is just theirs. That's what I'm saying. Even in that situation, I value your opinion, but in the end, all I can control and take care of is how I respond to it and who I am. So it's just bubbles of consideration. Life is just bubbles of considerations. Everything, whether you think of jumping off the cliff into the world of dimensions, leaving the country, that's still the art of consideration. Consideration is the most unspoken art that is missing. That is the bridge between possibilities and manifestations, is the art of consideration, the bridge of consideration. That's something I'm writing right now. So yeah, just all I ask is for consideration, nothing more. I don't want to change you. I don't want you to even think about changing me. Let's just live in consideration, because that just
actually
means
that is already a part of my vernacular. That's already part of my what I truly believe in. It is the consideration piece, because I don't want to change anyone, and I don't want anyone to change me. Or try to. Because one of the things I know is that you, as you are, Christian, is perfect, even though we're still like, oh, perfection is blah, blah, is perfect for someone else. Like, that's what they need. That's what they're looking for. That's what they want. That's the soil they need for them to grow and flourish. Your soil. And then how I am, who I am, it's perfect for someone else. It definitely has to be perfect for me first. And that's one of the things you mentioned earlier. You have to know yourself and all of those things. We say that stuff and it sounds really cliched and it sounds good, but a lot of us do not. And it's been an evolution for me. And I am at a place that I like me. I like who I am. I like my quirkiness. I like it. I like me. And I'm excited, actually, but I'm okay with where I am now. I want to see how I evolve. That's the only thing. When I think about death and me dying, which is from here, leaving whatever this is, the Truman Show, the Matrix, whatever it is.
It's both. It's both.
I believe it. I'm not even going to tell you what happened earlier this week, because I'm thinking, it's weird.
Me. Hey, it's both.
I believe it. Trust me, I believe it. Okay. So when I made this exit, I think but now that I say that, I have a different feeling about that. Because what I was going to say, my only feeling about death is not being here to see how I evolve in the changes that are happening. But then I might not be here, but I might be here. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see. But I am pretty happy right now. I woke up today, in America, it's Thanksgiving, and there's a whole controversy around what Thanksgiving means to people. And I'm not getting involved in all of that. I'm not. What I am making Thanksgiving to be, this is my consideration. It's about that thankfulness and the gratitude. And that's the thing about adjusting to environments. Because I'm a different plant, and there are people like this with this mentality, I can bring my own flavor to this bloody environment. So the way I see it is about thankfulness. And today I woke up out of my bed, although I was really thinking about masturbation. And then I didn't. I just got up. Anyhow, you can tell I talk about sex a lot, huh?
Oh, we actually, okay, let me tell you something. So I have a discussion coming up where we're going to talk about what do you value most about sex, because that for everyone can be
Ugh.
taken so many different ways. And so,
Yeah.
now that I know you're willing to engage, I welcome you to that discussion,
Oh, absolutely. I would love to talk.
whether it's in a group or one-on-one. But yeah, I definitely want to engage on that, because that's something that isn't discussed. Like, a lot of people don't discuss in a relationship what love means. They just assume we love each other. But if you ask separately what that means, you'll be surprised that these two people in love are not saying or projecting the same thing for what that means. The same thing about sex. Like, what is this exchange for you? We know how to do it. It's been done. We know that it is a bonding moment. It's an exchange. But what's the value? Like, what do you value in this? That I guarantee most people will not say the same thing.
I know that for a fact. Yeah, definitely. It's the value system. But yeah, I got up today and I was just thankful that I was at peace. Yesterday I walked through the park, and honestly, there have been times I walked through the park and it was a form of therapy, because I was broken and I was going through some stuff. And yesterday I wasn't. So
when you woke up and does peace mean masturbation? Because you said you considered it and you didn't. So would that have been like an extension of that bliss?
Possibly.
Okay.
But it also was my damn dream. It was crazy erotica at the same damn time.
Okay.
Crazy stuff, but it's not crazy stuff, but yeah, it would also be part of that. It would also be part of peace. I'm in a great place. I'm okay with me. And then there are sex for me. I don't like it being dirty. I do like it being dirty, but I don't like it being dirty.
Sleazy. Dirty, but not sleazy.
Right.
Naughty, but not sleazy.
Exactly. There are, I like it to be what I like it to be, but there's so much more to it. And that's one of the things I would love to experience with a partner, someone who has that same value system, and we can experience and unlock, right, that door, that unlock the beyond. I want that beyond. And I think I have unlocked that one time. I did not expect it, but I think I have. And that was, wow. It was wild. It was more than the climax, about that physical. There was something so out of this mind world about it that I want to experience again and again and again,
So if you go back to that exchange and take one thing in consideration, will you say that maybe part of what happened is that you were so in the moment that that's all that could be?
I was only in the moment.
Okay.
I was in the moment. I don't think I recognized anything else happening. I was so involved in the now, in what was happening.
It's three things in my existence that get this. This is my triangle of Christiano Ken, is that I believe in, I make great music, I make great food, and I make great sex. Because it's a moment of creation. Everyone is an intense individual, totally in the moment creation. And so it won't be uncommon for it to be quite intense. You can take that to mean anything, but intense, because I'm there. I'm beyond there. So yeah, hearing you every moment, it's not taken for granted. There are no expectations. And like I said, there's no formula. It is what is this, where it's an exploration every single time, every time. And I'm not listening to my partner. I'm listening to that other thing, which is why we get places that haven't happened before so often, because it's like, it's a whole different conversation. I'm taking this like I make music, and if you see me cook foods, you'll understand what this is. So yeah.
Well,
But here's the thing: there are many things we can talk about today. This conversation with Marsha Talley concludes our first candid conversation because, yeah, I think there are many things that we have to pick up on just based on perspective, experience, consideration, being the bridge. And yeah, I enjoyed this. So press that like button. Be sure to check out her website, which will be listed somewhere if it hasn't popped up already. Yeah, just keep listening and keep commenting. I appreciate it. We're on Spotify and a few other places, ChristianoCan.com. Ciao, ciao.